What's up, people? What I've come to realize is that in America, the only form of justice that you could ever have is in the streets. You cannot have proper justice inside of the court. You see, how I see it is if the court of public opinion is the one that truly matters, which I believe really does, then it doesn't matter what happens in the courthouse. You can be charged for some kind of assault, you can be charged for anything, you can be innocent, but just let alone the accusations is what brings you down. The court of public opinion has already been had. The public can already view you in some kind of light. However, the media or news source or whoever feels about whatever is going on, they can justify and swing, you know, your thoughts about how you can feel about the situation. Let me put it like this. Say, for instance, you're accused of some kind of assault. You could be innocent, but the way the narrative is spun, you could be found guilty in the court of public opinion. Does it really matter what happens in the courthouse? Even if they say you're innocent, the public opinion is already found you guilty. So now you have a stain on your name. You have a stain on your face card. People look at you different, even if you were found innocent. So how I see it is, if the court of public opinion is in the streets, then justice can only be had in the streets. Justice can't be had in the courthouse. America doesn't respect your boycott. America doesn't respect your marches, your speeches. No, it doesn't. America only cares when blood is shed and dollars are lost. Whether you take dollars from them or you cause some kind of event where dollars have to be spent out of their own pocket. That's the only thing that they do respect. Look at all the other countries who fought for their freedom. Hell, even look at America. They didn't go to England and fight in court for their freedom. No, they took it to the streets. Everybody who wants their freedom, everybody who wants change, everybody who needs change went about it in the streets. Didn't go about it in the courthouse. Didn't go about it the right way. Didn't march. Didn't boycott. Take a look at history. Justice is not found in the courthouse. Change is not found in the courthouse. Justice and change is found in the streets. An eye for an eye. Point blank, period. That's the only thing that America respects. And I take a look at the case with the father in Ohio who killed the police officer, right? And it was in retaliation because his son was murdered by the police. Now, if you don't know what case I'm talking about when it comes to the father unaliving the police officer, you can check that out right here. Boom.
To Ohio now, where authorities say a man intentionally struck and killed a sheriff's deputy the day after the suspect's teenage son was fatally shot by police. In his first court appearance this weekend, Rodney Hinton Jr. walked through a room packed with law enforcement officers. CBS's Lisa Rosner is tracking the latest developments for us tonight. Lisa.
Jerika, the deputy killed has not been identified, but fellow law enforcement describe him as a fantastic officer and person.
Law enforcement is grieving one of their own. The sheriff's deputy was directing traffic at a local university graduation Friday when he was struck.
The officer was just out doing his job, directing traffic up near the University of Cincinnati.
The alleged driver is 38-year-old Rodney Hinton. He is the father of a teen fatally shot by Cincinnati police on Thursday. That teen was 18-year-old Ryan Hinton. Police say he was armed and running away from a stolen vehicle when another officer opened fire. Police body cam footage of the shooting was shared with the teen's family the same day the deputy was struck. Prosecutors allege this was no accident.
There are no evidence of skid marks. There are no evidence that he tried to avoid him.
More than 30 members of the sheriff's department filled the courtroom for Hinton's arraignment. His attorney addressed the crowd.
I understand that there is a lot of sadness and a lot of anger in this room right now, but in the community at large.
We have a deputy that's killed simply doing his job. It's a shame. It's tragic.
Rodney Hinton has been charged with aggravated murder and was denied bond.
He knows no kind of justice would have been found. And it would have been skewed some kind of way to say his son was in the guilty party. So he took it upon himself to find justice. Eye for an eye. You take one of mine, I take one of yours. Some people say it was wrong because that cop had nothing to do with it. But then again, when things happen to the public or somebody is victim of police brutality, don't we all point the finger at all the police force itself? It's almost like when you're in the streets and some kind of war or beef is happening. You may not be able to get to your enemy, but a friend, a family member, or a fellow gang member, you may be able to get to. So that's who you get. And that's how I see how the father justified what happened. Now, do I 100% believe that he should have taken it in his own hands? No. But I see why he did it. Because you would never know the truth. As long as it's in a courthouse, you would never know the truth. As long as certain structures are here in order to protect certain entities, you can never know the truth. You can never. So how I see it is now, say for instance, another incident happens and somebody gets retaliation in the same way, eye for an eye. Now you force certain entities to change how they go about situations. Now you force certain entities to say, hey, before we pull a gun and shoot somebody, let's ensure we're in the clear. We exercise every possible way we could intervene or calm down the situation or handle the situation before we just pull out our gun and shoot somebody. Because in the back of our heads, we know we can get off. But now, if in the back of your head, you know, if you pull out your gun and you unalive somebody, somebody's going to get retaliation for that. You might have a second thought about how fast you pull out your gun. Again, eye for an eye. Only justice can be had in the streets. Look at Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony. Say what you want, he had a knife, whatever the case may be. I say he should never put his hands on him. I was always taught, if you put your hands on somebody, you are going to suffer the consequences and repercussions. Don't put your hands on people. Point blank, period. Now, imagine if everybody objectively looks at it and says, hey, he put his hands on him and he got unalived. Let me think twice before I put my hands on somebody. Imagine if it went the other way and they went to the courthouse, or Carmelo Anthony said, hey, I'm going to tell the teacher on you, for touching me, and nothing would have happened. Bullies would have still been running around. People would have still been Karens, handling situations that they had no means of handling. Emotionally handling situations instead of consciously handling situations. So now imagine if, well, justice was had in the streets in that case. Imagine if everybody objectively looked at it like that and said, hey, before I put my hands on somebody, I might get unalived. Now we think twice. Side note, even Malcolm X said it. If somebody puts their hands on you, take them out. If it's not mutual combat, take them out. Just saying. If you truly want change, you have to take matters into your own hands. Again, power structures only respect and only understand when blood is shed and money has to be spent. If blood ain't shed and true money doesn't have to be spent, they don't respect it. So you can march all you want to, you can boycott all you want to, you can preach all you want to, you can speech all you want to. Unless your boycott is really affecting their dollars, they don't care. And unless blood is shed, they don't care. They don't respect it. Disclaimer, I'm not telling anybody to start any violence. All I'm saying is my thoughts, my opinions, and how I see things. That's all. Anyways, this is your favorite cousin Rich. I greatly do appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all be safe. Love and blessings.